Hello, welcome to Solux Nation. We have just come back from a wonderful week in Punta Cana.
Yeah, and we love spending all this time with people on the beach, at the pool, at the restaurants. We love giving some gifts to these folks. I think everybody had a great time.
It was a really wonderful time. Let's take a look.
Wow, this place is just absolutely incredible.
The thing that I'm looking forward to the most about this trip is just making some awesome memories with Solux.
It's just gotta be the beach.
Whew. My favorite part about the trip is Rock Spa. I mean, hands down the best spa I've been to in my life.
Honestly, just relaxing.
Enjoying the beach, the water is absolutely beautiful. There's so many pools.
I can tell you, I am so grateful for Solux. I am just now late in life getting to actually live life because of this company.
Everybody worked really hard to earn this trip, and it's amazing to finally be able to celebrate our hard work.
My favorite part of the trip has been relaxing, enjoying the beautiful ocean, the pool, getting to know other QLAs who I had never met before.
The water is amazing. All the colors of the blue are just awesome.
Being away from my office and not having to have to work.
Getting to walk on the beach, sticking my feet in the water's been great. And this morning, we did dolphin excursion. We got to kiss the dolphins and swim with them. And then we went horseback riding on the beach.
Love our Solux family. So much fun to be around with them.
I feel this is a reward because of hard work that we've done.
The time in the ocean with a couple of my team members just floating and catching waves, it was amazing.
There is such a huge feeling of accomplishment in being here. Just amazing to be awarded for work I would have done in my business anyway.
Part of the trip is just meeting everyone again and enjoying ourselves. This was an amazing reward for all the work we put in. Hard work, but it was fun work.
And anybody can do this. You know, you just put in the work and amazing things can happen.
Share this experience with everyone I know.
And I want as many people as possible to come next year.
My mission is to help my entire team come on that trip with me because it's not a lot of fun going by yourself. How fun is it when you can bring all of your people?
You really don't want to miss the next one. Our next trip is a Mexican Riviera cruise.
Yes, that's going to be a great one. That's going to be in the spring of next year.
Yes.
And you have through the end of August to earn that cruise.
That's right.
There are a bunch of things involved in your back office. Many of you have seen the baseline banner, which shows your baseline and the targets for getting 15 or 25. That's for a trip for one or for a trip for two. Just remind you of those things. You also earn a reduction of those requirements by you personally breaking a new rank or helping your directs break a new rank.
If you want more information on how to earn this cruise, go to soluxglobal.com and click on the blog, and you will find all of the requirements there. If you have any questions, though, please don't be afraid to give us a call or ask your upline for help.
Yeah, it is, we're rolling to the end of March.
We are. And what do you always say at the end of the month?
It is time to pull your reports.
What does that mean?
That means you go into your back office and there's a reports function. You can go and pull that information. And there, you don't have to print it out. You don't have to do anything necessarily with it. The important thing is to pull the report and export them. If you do that step, then they're saved. And then in the future, you can go back and see how is your team doing toward the end of the month. You don't have to time it to the perfect last minute of the month. Even if you just pulled it tonight, it would be a great indicator of how your team is doing or who do you need to work with as the month closes.
That is right. Now, speaking of coming to an end of the month, we are also coming to the end of our March incentive.
Yeah.
And that is
The
Alpha 3 passes, a 6-pack of Alpha 3 passes for all QLAs who bring on new QLAs that are qualified with a bundle and a subscription.
Yeah, both the enroller, the enrolling QLA,
Yep.
and the brand new QLA that comes on, both of you get the 6-pack.
That's right. And there are quite a few people that have gotten so many Alpha 3 passes that they are going to bring on people for a long time.
You know, it's a great, easy way to give somebody an introduction to the scanning experience.
That's right.
If you're just showing, maybe you've done a scan on somebody and they have the report, but they want to play around with it before they commit to the subscription, totally understandable. Alpha 3 Pass is a great way to bridge that experience.
That's right. We're also coming to the end of our Q1 incentive when you enroll 3 people and when you enroll 6 people. Now, when you enroll 3 with a bundle and a subscription, what do they get?
They get the $100 credit into the store.
That's right, $100 credit for our
The
Solex store. Yeah.
Yep.
And then when you enroll 6 qualified people.
Yeah, this is going to tie to earning the incentive trip.
Yes, the cruise.
This is a room upgrade going from where we're starting to the next level of room.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome.
You know, we had an incentive for the last trip. To a spa upgrade. They could earn a spa package. Every single person that earned this trip to Punta Cana earned the spa package, which was awesome.
Yeah, and there was so many great comments about how long it was like a 3-hour experience, right?
Yep.
It's such a great thing. Worth doing. Enroll 6. You earn that when you also earn the incentive trip.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. We have 2 weeks of top enrollers to go through. And so the first one is March 11th through the 17th.
All right.
And we do have a tie for second
We
place.
do have a Craig Pope. Congratulations. Great job.
Paige Wheeler.
Cynthia Jones.
And Terry Beaver. Congratulations to all 4 of you.
Yeah. And first place for the 57th week in a row.
Simmons Holistics, Inc.
Oh my goodness. Great job. Great job to all of you.
Yes.
Such a wonderful effort. It is no small thing to be in those top 2 positions for top enrollers. But let's move on. Like you said, we had 2 weeks.
Yes.
We have March 18th through the 24th. And again, we have a tie for second place.
The first person is Roxanne Sagnaret Hendley.
And Emma McCowan.
And Carlos Yaramillo.
Yes, congratulations, all of you. That's second place.
Yes.
And now for the 58th week in a row.
Simmons Holistics, Inc.
Good job. Great job, everyone. Such profound work, consistent effort. We love it. Great job. They all get, well, not they all. First
Simmons
place. They get
Inc.
the silver coin.
Gets a Solex silver coin, and she does have about 50 of them. She's wiping us out.
Yeah. Well, one day we'll be done.
Yeah. We had a contest last week. Yep. It was so fun. We announced it on the beach. What are your tips for great sleep? Because last week we talked about sleep.
Well, and we got to be giving away sleep.
Of course we're giving away sleep.
Our new nano product, sleep. So many people having wonderful experiences. Let's see. Laura Deming. Oh, Laura, love that you won again. Laura Deming,
I just want to say something. Sorry. Laura Deming enters a contest every single week. She wins a lot.
She wins a lot because she enters.
You don't win if you don't enter.
Yeah,
Good job, Laura.
Great job. I like to sleep in a cold room with blankets and a hoodie with my ears where my ears and neck stay warm. I use a grounding mat, sleep mask, and white noise. I am a choosy sleeper. Yeah, I like that. I like a cold room as well.
Yeah, those are great
But I need
tips.
the blankets close by because I can jump in between feeling freezing and then feeling too warm when I'm under the blankets.
Great job, Laura. All right, let's mix these up. And do I have one? Yes. Optimal Wellness Coach. This is Heather Lambias. I have found vagus nerve stimulation exercises along with deep breathing to be very good at relaxing the body and helping me stay asleep throughout the night. I can't wait to add Solex Sleep to the mix. I'm very excited about the milk thistle in there. Oh yeah, the milk thistle.
A lot of people love
the
that, right?
Add.
It's that liver support.
Yep.
And I love the deep breathing, right?
Yeah.
You get a lot of oxygen into your system, but then it calms everything down.
You're big with deep breathing.
Yep. Fantastic. Okay. Lol Dave. I think we need to know who that is,
yes.
Right? Okay. In 3 words, Sleep Easy playlist. I actually started Sleep Easy groups because I had such a great experience with it. And guess what? After I did the groups, some people that were using sleeping aids realized they didn't need them anymore. True story. Well, yeah, playlist. We talked about that in the launch of sleep. Adding the playlist and using frequencies in conjunction with this is perfect for teeing up the body's readiness for sleep.
Congratulations. We will send all 3 of you sleep this week. All right, let's move on to the training portion of our call.
Here is something brand new at Solex. I think you're gonna love it. I already do. Let's check it out. I think it is phenomenal. THINKdrops is incredible. It is something that is very interesting. THINKdrops may sound somewhat familiar here at Solex, or at least something close to that. Let me tell you that it was several months ago when my dad actually was coming. He's a product of our products as well. And he had phenomenal results with the impact of Think and Omega Pro on his brain health. He is in his late 70s. And he has that normal difficulty as we age where things just aren't as sharp. Things just aren't as clear. And he came to me, we met for lunch one day, and he's like, Kai, I really need some more Think. He goes, I totally notice a difference. And he's not a big fan of supplements. He's never has been. He's kind of like, well, you get old and your things start wearing out and you just kind of live with that. And that's not really the case, right? That's not the case with everything that we do. We have a choice to influence how we age, and we have the choice to influence how phenomenal our performance can be, even with brain health. Now, of course, we have all kinds of barriers in our way, and the thing that we're doing here is to look at those barriers and try and figure out, is there a natural way in which we can support what the body does best and perform at its best, just to encourage it to function optimally. Now, everybody's trying to do that, but with him, I found it interesting because as he was bringing up his need for more Think and Omega Pro, he knows that we've come out with Nano, and he asked me about the Nano. Are you going to do a Nano version? And many of you actually who love Think and Omega Pro have actually asked the same question. And if you'll remember, a couple years ago, if you've been with us for that long, I was on stage and we were introducing some products, and one of the things that was important for us at Solex was to actually address what is the status quo in the marketplace. Meaning, Solex, we're not interested in you doing anything unless you're going to improve upon it. And that's the challenge, kind of the standard we've set for ourselves. With every product we've come out with, it's not that there might not be products in the marketplace that are trying to do similar things. The thing that's key for us is we need to know whether we can make it better or not. If we can't make it better, then leave it the way it is. If we can make it better, if we can challenge the status quo, whether it's with what the thing does or the price point or both, then we should. We have an obligation to do that. And that not only applies to everybody else, that also applies to us. And so here we are, taking the standard of challenging the status quo with Solex against ourselves. Solex, can you make something better with what you have? And with the more recent study, discovery, and mastery of making things nano, the better we have become at knowing where this should apply. Nanotechnology is phenomenal in and of itself. It is a billionth of a meter when we talk about nano-sized things. But things don't naturally come nano-sized when they're brought to the market. Usually they're in a much bigger size. What we have found and what we've said is that if we can separate the molecular structures of certain ingredients and how they bind together, not to change the ingredients themselves, but to separate them so that they're not all clumped together, guess what? They become more absorbable. It causes less stress on the body of trying to make use of those ingredients so that the body gets nudged ever so carefully. Don't misunderstand. That careful approach is powerful. The reach of separating out all of these molecular structures into as many as we can because we're driving to a nanometer size means that the body can absorb it quickly, but the reach of that is so much greater. And so we sat here and we said, we love Think and we love Omega Pro, and we're like, can we make this better? Can we make this better with nanotechnology? And the answer is, of course we can. We should challenge ourselves. And so we've been working through this process of trying to figure out how do we take the powerful ingredients of Think and make them nano. And not just nano, make them liposomal. I know, cheering in the background, right? Everybody's like, in fact, I was talking to an R&D expert the other day, and he goes, the fact that you guys are making things nano is one like high bar, right? High level. But to do nano and liposomal ever is phenomenal. You're just compounding what the body wants so bad, and it's just to make use of what you're giving it. Not to cause additional stress, but to give it the nutrients, the nudges it needs, and not waste anything in the process. And that's, I hope, what we've done with THINKdrops. THINKdrops is phenomenal. Some of these things are gonna sound familiar to you when we go through these ingredients, because they are and they should be. It's not that we have changed what we've already researched and discovered as being a powerful influence on the brain itself, in particular, helping with brain function and brain performance. But in conjunction with that, we are just trying to add on the layer of more efficiency and more effectiveness with what we're giving you. Now, as a reminder, the brain consumes the most oxygen of any organ in the body. In fact, 20% of the oxygen consumed is consumed by the brain. It's a heavy hitter, right? It needs to do so many things all the time, constantly. And oxygen is a key resource for the energy production needed in order for the cells in the brain to do what they need to do. Great. With that massive amount of oxygen consumption, what happens as we age is we get leakage, we get oxygen leakage, we get oxidized cells or oxidized behaviors within the brain, which cause what are called reactive oxygen species. Reactive oxygen species are in abundance not good, right? They have their purpose and they're strategically effective in certain ways. But typically when we're talking about reactive oxygen species, or what's commonly referred to as ROS, we're talking about something that's not necessarily positive for the body or the cells of the body. These reactive oxygen species are free radicals. They can go and now actually disrupt cell function, do damage to cell membranes, get in the way of cell signaling. When you think about the neurotransmittal process and the signals that are being sent across, if you get disruption either in the membrane or how those messages go down and have a weakened myelin sheath and how it's less efficient within the brain, you're talking about getting those experiences that we all have actually as we age. As we age, like my dad was experiencing before he was on Think. It's, we think that as we get older, we get a little foggy. We're just not as sharp. We don't remember names as quickly, or something that we knew really well maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago, it's just not coming as sharp. That's normal, but it doesn't have to happen. And I would argue that actually we can put ourselves in position with enough prevention that we really don't have to experience that. We can delay the onset of even the noticeable differences of aging for many, many years, if not decades. I think that what we are doing is trying to craft something that's most efficient and most effective. So what are we doing when we talk about the ingredients within THINKdrops? Well, THINKdrops is combined to be most effective in doing one thing in particular. When we talk about oxidization and we talk about ROS and free radicals and how disruptive they are in the body, and particularly in the brain's response to this is a natural response. We have our own defense mechanism. We have our own defense effort to try and clean things up so that those things don't happen. Or if they do happen, we hurry, take them out, get rid of them. That process is called an NRF2 response. The NRF2 response is the body's natural response to go and take out the trash, so to speak, to go find these free radicals and remove them. And in that, actually utilize the resources of antioxidants and other nutrients, micronutrients, to try and support repairing. So when you start to think about what are we trying to do with THINKdrops, it's not that we're trying to say, hey, brain, no matter what, have the NRF2 response take place. No. What we're trying to do is say, hey, brain, is it time to go and work on taking out the trash? Is it now time to go clean up some of the rust buildup that's taking place because of these free radicals? As we age, the NRF2 response starts to slow, and thus we have those age-related effects that we think are natural. But because it's starting to slow doesn't mean that we can't remind the system and then provide it the resources it needs to go and do the work that best supports brain function. And that's exactly, like when you think about nanosizing something and liposoming it in conjunction, getting it into the bloodstream and all these ingredients pass the blood-brain barrier, then you're delivering right to the organ that needs it the most. The knocking on the door feature of saying, hey, let's get to work. And by the way, I brought a bunch of resources for us to get the job done. That's exactly what we're doing. So when we look at this and we look at what the ingredients are in THINKdrops, we're looking that it has curcumin, resveratrol, CoQ10, niacinamide or vitamin B3, phosphatidylserine, lion's mane, and rhodiola rosea. All of these ingredients are the same ingredients that we have seen in Think, the Think capsules. It's because these ingredients work. They have a noticeable impact on people who are struggling with that sort of brain fog experience. And in the preventative effort, we know that they also have an impact on slowing the process of the downside effect of the NRF2 degradation. So what are we doing? We're taking these ingredients, and just so you know, when we launched Think, we went, Shelby and I spent about 45 minutes at nauseam, at your exhaustion, and I'm so sorry. But if you love to go into each ingredient by each ingredient and to hear about studies and support for those ingredients, we have that still. And that's actually on a blog for Think, and we'll put that information associated with the THINKdrops information as well at solixglobal.com. But with that, at a high level, what are we trying to do? Well, these ingredients, the design of these ingredients, and a lot of these ingredients work together in tandem. They support each other. For instance, the vitamin B3 and the phosphatidylserine work together in conjunction to support each other within the brain structure. What are we trying to support? We're trying to support the strengthening of the myelin sheath. The myelin sheath is the powerhouse for signaling. The thicker the sheath, the more efficient the signaling takes place. We're supporting cell membrane. The membrane is where all the reception takes place, the passing of the signal. That gets damaged so easily when there are free radicals abounding in the brain. And that actually causes disruption to the signaling itself. The mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, is supported with some of these ingredients as well. When we look at that, not only are we supporting the signaling and the receiving of signaling, but we're also supporting just the energy so that the cell functions the way it's supposed to. Now that in tandem with blue, to me, is mind-blowing. When you think about some of these ingredients supporting mitochondrial function and the repairing, and then giving it the resources, but then blue being that electron support within the mitochondria so that the cell, even the brain cell, functions optimally because it has all the energy it needs, boy, it doesn't get better than that. That is a powerhouse. What else are we doing? We're repairing damage to the cell membrane and to the cell itself. And then we're also instigating protective measures within the cell structure so that it's aware that it should be deploying defensive mechanisms to the free radicals that are free roaming because of the massive consumption of oxygen. You guys, This is powerful, but it doesn't even stop here. With this launch, we're not only launching THINKdrops, but we're also launching THINKdrops Krill. What is this? This is THINKdrops with krill. Your brain has the highest level of polyunsaturated fats, meaning it uses these fats as protectors and resources for the cell membranes. The challenge with the fats where you have this highest level in the brain itself is that they are damaged like super easy. They're featherweights when it comes to their ability to protect themselves. They get damaged really easily. And thus, not only do you need the protection, but you also need the resource to come back and support it. Krill is special. It's not just like your run-of-the-mill fish oil omega-3. Krill has its own design and it has actually unique properties. It comes in its natural form. It has phosphatidylipids and it comes and develops choline in its manufacturing process. So it's a provider not only of the phosphatidyl structure of lipids, but the choline as well. And phosphatidylcholine together support the cell membrane as well. And that signaling that's taking place between cells. It essentially creates an efficient greasing the skids, if you will, of that communication between cells. So phosphatidylcholine is powerful, and that is only available through the krill structure unless you're taking a phosphatidylcholine elsewhere. Now, in addition to phosphatidylcholine being a natural part, and in the THINKdrops krill structure, you also have what I love, and that is the natural byproduct of krill is astaxanthin. In fact, what we have is per serving, working very closely with our manufacturers. And by the way, let me give you a little bit more detail about who we partnered with, which I think has been strengthened over time and it is powerful now. We have partnered with a company that does the fishing themselves. They're in Antarctica. They are doing the fishing, the sustainable krill fishing. They fish for the krill every day. They process that krill on the boat. They move that krill to the States where it gets made for production and then it's sent to us. In fact, the batches that are just going into this are that fresh. They just arrive and they come in and within a week to 10 days roughly, they're on their way to us. It is phenomenal. The other thing I love about krill is that it has the EPA-DHA ratio that we're interested when we're talking about supporting the brain. 2-to-1 EPA to DHA. When you're dealing with most fish oils as omega-3 sources, you're actually dealing with the inverse of that. Not only do you not get the benefits of phosphatidylcholine and the byproduct of astaxanthin, but you're also getting DHA to EPA. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but why is the 2-to-1 EPA to DHA so powerful? Well, one of the studies found that I love was around neurological disease. And what they found was those that had higher levels of EPA in their brains themselves, they were able to hold off or stave off the onsets of some of these neurological diseases, even though they would eventually have traces of those. The prevention elongated the effect, essentially, prevented the effect of it and introducing itself to the person because of the higher levels of EPA in their brain. And so we're really interested in that supportive factor when we're talking about using krill very targetedly and the prevention of the effects of neurological diseases. Now, let me talk about this. It's a spray, okay? So it's coming in nano form, super absorbable. In fact, as soon as it hits your mouth, it's going in and you're making use of it. Whether you like THINKdrops just proper or THINKdrops krill, we have added cacao to it as well, which has some magnesium support, and we love that to help with the flavoring, but also help with a beneficial uptake into your system. THINKdrops and THINKdrops krill. I'll say this about THINKdrops krill. Some of you may need to add it to a flavored drink. We have done everything we could think of to try and get around the quote-unquote fish flavor. And me, I've been taking it straight for weeks and weeks now, and I didn't know I cared for it, or maybe it's the Scandinavian background in me that actually may enjoy the fish flavor, but just so you know, don't let that be something you avoid. Now, are we gonna keep Think in Omega Pro in capsule form? Yes, if that's your thing, I love that. If you have discovered the value of nanotechnology when it comes to supplementation, and if you also value liposomal benefits for maximizing total absorption and total effectiveness in the body, then this is a great transition. This is a great move. We've also, because of nanotechnology, we've been able to maximize the reach of the ingredients that we're providing in THINKdrops. I love THINKdrops. I'm a huge fan of brain support, brain function, maximizing brain performance. Each one of you have brilliant brains. And I love that about you. I don't even know all of you, and I love that about you because you can become something amazing. What I would like for you to do is to try and support your brain as much as possible. You know, if THINKdrops is your thing, great, use it, love it. If it's not, that's okay. We're gonna move forward with what we do best as we, challenge the status quo, right? Challenge the status quo even with our own products. So everybody, THINKdrops Krill, now it's available. Lauren, we've come up with so many new things.
Yep.
I feel like we come up with so many new things like every 6 months.
I think they do too.
I think so. But we love these things, right? And THINKdrops is one of those.
Yep.
It was a bit of a, not a reinvention, but challenging the status quo, right?
Yep.
Bringing it back to and saying, hey, what about bringing Think into the nano form? And that's where THINKdrops is born.
We love it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that too. So let's give away some THINKdrops.
I like that.
I think we should do, what do you think? Yeah, I know it makes him laugh every time. What do you think we should come up with next as far as supplements go?
I like that.
Yeah, right?
That's good.
You guys have so many great ideas and tremendous exposure. We'd love to get your ideas of where we should challenge the status quo on supplements. So give us your thoughts.
Let us know as soon as this call is over in the comments. Let us know what you think we should come up with next, and we'll give away 3 bottles of Think.
Perfect. Shelby, you're so embarrassing.
We asked them